Hello and welcome once again everyone. Today I'm going to take a look at another awesome replay from one of my clanmates, Bearded Gaming, in his Akizuki, where he scores a massive 4000 plus base XP. I've included the full ship and captain build at the end of the video, so let's jump straight into the action in a very strong demonstration on how to play the Japanese destroyer Akizuki. The map is called North, and our brave captain has spawned on the northern side and is making best speed to contest the Alpha capture point. This is primarily a tier 10 match with 7 tier 10s and 5 tier 8s on each side, and while being the sole destroyer in a match like this with carriers, it's very important to focus on strong positioning. Our captain has already been conversing with our carrier, requesting support, whereupon he has dropped fighters on the edge of the capture point, giving our captain the incentive to push in and be aggressive. Never be afraid to ask for assistance in the chat. By displaying your own willingness to communicate and cooperate will encourage others to do the same. This is a team game after all. The enemy lightning is spotted on the far side of the island, along with a large number of the enemy team in support. So our captain is pushing forward in an attempt to ambush the lightning, pushing into the edge of the capture point. Lightning has opened fire and is smoking up. Captain is going to drop some torpedoes into this smoke. Pops his reload booster to drop an additional set. There's the gunfire from the lightning. A set right on where that gunfire emanated from. Plane spotted, instantly smokes up, puts on his anti-aircraft guns. Now this, for a lot of players, would be quite risky. He manages to get a torp on the lightning. He knows exactly where the lightning was from that torp hit, puts in some fire. Able to get a hit on the lightning is spotted. Instantly put fire, gets a fire on the lightning. And another fire, and the lightning is doomed. And the lightning goes down. It's very important to take advantage of the enemy's mistakes. The lightning rushed in and smoked up, and for some strange reason did not seem to have his hydro active, and got caught out by a torp hit. The lightning did manage to get off some torps, but due to our captain's positioning, he's angled stern in, ready to push forward at a moment's notice to escape out of the cap. Putting constant fire on the torpedo planes overhead and raining down fire on the Montana in the distance. We can safely use the cover of the smoke screen to shell the advancing battleships. The captain is just about to capture the point and is already on the move, fall back to a safe distance. And this is textbook. Be able to push in, take the capture point, knock out the enemy destroyer, take down 12 planes in the meantime, and retreat with 0 damage taken. A very solid start to the game. Put some torpedoes down on the advancing curve first. The smart move here is to fall back to avoid any risk of being spotted by the enemy Saipan, who is located on that island, and he has proved himself quite stubborn in persistently attacking the Alpha point. The curve first, in all probability, had his hydro running and was able to avoid those torpedoes. So we can just continue to shell and torpedo the enemy battleships as they come in. The captain predicts the Montana is going to turn inwards. And friendly Hipper is taking a beating at the moment. And our team is in the process of resetting the capture point here on the Curvehurst in Montana. Montana is, after making a hard turn, he will avoid those torpedoes. And our friendly Hipper goes down, as Hippers invariably seem to do these days. Our captain activates a speed boost and is now planning on reconning the B capture point. Enemy ships have moved in and taken control of this point. It remains now to be seen. Battleship was briefly spotted there. That's a Montana. Enemy Minotaur is spotted. We get briefly plane spotted. Turn away quickly. Slow down. Instantly speed up again. And this is a great trick for avoiding incoming fire. We get undetected. The Minotaur smokes up. And the enemy Montana would appear to be pushing down through the capture point and is our next target of choice. Our captain now is going to make a very smart move here. Avoids the torpedoes easily, but he's going to use this island on his left as an emergency backup. Enemy Minotaur can be spotted there clearly, shelling out of his smoke screen. We're just going to use the island to break line of sight with this Minotaur so he can focus fully on the enemy Montana coming in. Instantly fire comes in from the Minotaur. Now he's unable to land any shells as we put the island between him, and leaves our captain free to shell the enemy Montana, who is now in a very exposed and vulnerable position. Torps away on the Montana. Our captain can continue to shell the Montana, keep moving in the smoke, avoid any incoming fire. He already has started a fire, so he's aiming specifically at the bow section in an attempt to get a second fire. One of these torpedoes is looking good. Get another fire, and that torpedo strikes with a flood. Enemy Montana is now in dire straits. Minotaur has torped again. Montana manages to land one shell, and it's the first damage our captain has taken in this game, which is almost 10 minutes old. And right on cue, our captain gets the Wither achievement. This Montana is doomed. This torpedo will just finish off the job. And the Montana goes down, and our captain gets his second kill of the game. 237,000 damage. With that enemy Minotaur still in the vicinity, our captain errs on the side of caution and falls back. When it can be seen there's an enemy smoke screen, the enemy Mino has smoked up again. We can fire our guns undetected here, so our captain just decides to shell the smoke. See if he can land any shells on this Minotaur. The shells can clearly be seen firing at the sea capture point. Captain does manage to get a fire. While it can be quite difficult to land reliable hits on a target like this, it is relatively risk-free, as our captain is able to fire continuously undetected. He did manage to start a fire there at one stage. He has ticked up to 141,000. So he's done about 3,000-4,000 damage. Friendly Henri now is pushing up into the capture point. Maybe a little bit over aggressive here. The scores are still quite close at this stage. Our friendly Yoshino takes out the Montana, and that swings the score firmly in our favour. Shots out on the smoke again. The enemy Mino has stopped firing, which could mean he has already left his smoke screen in an attempt to flee. The Henri and the Mino is spotted. He has torpedoed. The Henri is quite overextended here now. He's got to deal with the Minotaur and the Hindenburg in the distance. Get another fire on the Minotaur as he attempts to maneuver out of range. Continue to put shells onto the Minotaur. Hindenburg takes a pot shot at us. Our Henri now is gone up in flames. I was just about to say he's in a dire situation, but that ship has already sailed. The Henri was also taking additional fire from the Henri on the enemy team, and he was completely unable to tank the incoming damage from combined 3 cruisers. So our captain has gone dark. He stopped firing for the moment, just to capture this point. Due to the loss of our Monarch and Henri in rapid succession, the scores have rapidly closed up, so it's always wise to take a tactical advantage in capturing the points. They will continue to give points and can be the decisive factor in close games like this. There's only a 1 ship lead, small 60-70 point lead at the moment. Get a fire on the Hindenburg. Shots incoming from the Henri. Henri would seem to be quite a good player. He's already racked up a number of kills. The Hindenburg has repaired that fire, and that's quite unfortunate. He was reluctant to keep shooting at the Yoshino. He was engaged in a long-range artillery fight with the Yoshino that is pushing up on the enemy Saipan. So he has gone dark for the moment, dropping detection, and that is a shame. This smoke screen is kind of wasted. Captain decides to push out, just in case he's being rushed by this Hindenburg. Minotaur is spotted. Hindenburg is spotted. It's time to play safe and just fall back. We have the friendly Yamato here as backup. We can continue to spot the Hindenburg. Hindenburg does have 6-kilometer radar, so it's always wise to keep that in mind and maneuver out of that 6-kilometer range. The Henri takes out our Minotaur, and suddenly we're in a 5-on-5 situation. Shots out on the Hindenburg that is quite low in an attempt to secure the kill. Hindenburg fires off one last desperate volley, but our captain's shrewd positioning has once again saved him from any incoming damage. Our Yoshino takes out the enemy Saipan from close range with those long-range torpedoes. Always an interesting choice. Now, our captain did spot the Henri pushing into the capture point, So he's just torped where he predicts that Henri will come around the corner. Henri is spotted. And I have to admit, this is my favourite part of the video. Our captain spots the Henri making a turn in, and in an attempt to bait him into turning, he opens fire. Once again, slows down, immediately changes direction. The Henri has taken the bait and eats 2 torps on his broadside and is virtually finished off. Our captain made a very conscious decision to open fire there in an effort to get the Henri to change direction, knowing that he would be punished by the Henri. The Henri is not the ship you want to be taking on in a close range engagement, as you can see the amount of damage that the Henri racks up in just a quick few volleys. Players on both the enemy and friendly team acknowledged the Akizuki's fine play almost immediately in chat, which is always nice to see. The Henri captain responds. He's got to admit he got played hard. The Henri played quite a good game, and to take out a good player in such a fashion is always quite rewarding. And it's all down to a result of measured, calculated play throughout the game, maintaining your hit pool. It allowed him to take that action at the end of the game, knowing that he's got that HP to play around with, and he can take such a risk and pull off such a play. So he gets rewarded. The North Carolina is shooting high explosive, does manage to get a fire despite our captain's best attempts to throw off his aim. And we get the high caliber award. Over 220,000 damage and ticking. And the game is about to come to an end. I hope you liked the video, and thank you all for watching. The full ship and captain build follows the results screen, and I've added some links to my most recent videos at the end. Be sure to check them out. And until the next time, keep sailing it like you stole it. Starting with the consumables, give yourself every advantage by using premium consumables. The extra smoke is particularly useful considering the current CV heavy meta right now. Speed boost is great for getting in and out of sticky situations, and the torpedo reload booster adds flexibility while allowing you the opportunity to do even more damage should the circumstance arise. Onto the upgrades: main armament mod 1, damage control mod 1, AA mod 1 instead of the usual aiming systems mod, propulsion mod 2, and finally concealment system mod 1. Moving to the captain skills, the training order is always reliant on your own playstyle and personal choice, but I highly recommend going with preventive maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, and then concealment expert for your first 10 points. The remaining 9 points then on ifhe, adrenaline rush, and finally demolition expert. Akizuki is a gunboat after all. Let's see what this captain build and upgrades mean to your final ship stats. Survivability, we get 23,200 hit points. Our main artillery consists of 4 dual 100mm turrets, 2 in the front and 2 in the back, with a very fast 3-second reload speed and 12.5 kilometers in range. For torpedoes, we get one X4 launcher with hard-hitting torpedoes that have 10 kilometers in range. Combine that with the reload booster, it allows you to put 8 torpedoes in the water virtually at the same time when needed. Akizuki gets an AA defense rating of 46, and it's important to note here there is no mid-range values. Its strength is in the long-range AA, which operates from 1.9 kilometers to 5.8 kilometers, which will dictate how we operate it. Akizuki's maneuverability includes a base speed of 33 knots, a turning circle of 730 meters, and a rudder shift time of 5.6 seconds. Our concealment rating of 95 means Akizuki will be detected at 6.1 kilometers by other ships and spotted from the air by planes from 2.9 kilometers.